Hello and welcome to Stacy's Infinity Podcast. I am your host, Stacy Cisneros. Thanks so much for joining me today. This is the podcast where we make the woo and unconventional things work for you. So today I'd like to talk about another modality, or I should say system, that I encountered about 10 years ago, maybe a little more. Approximately 10 years ago, and that has really helped me frame the way I carry myself, the way I run my life, the way I understand myself and others, amongst many things. As I mentioned before, I had come to a period in my life where I was feeling very stuck, both in my career and with money. And at the time, I was very open to learning different systems, different ideas about how we understand ourselves, how we process our traumas and our hurts, and what that really means going forward, and how to undo all that. In my previous podcast, I covered the different energy modalities that have helped me, really. But one particular system that I learned really changed the way I felt about myself and the way I felt about others. And that system was the human design system. I mentioned before that I had started my journey looking and searching through different podcasts and telesummits. And one of the things I kept kind of thinking to myself was, okay, I'm learning about all these different energy modalities, how to shift from one state to another, but there's so many different belief systems that I carry, I can't possibly just, I can run through them all, I guess, but that would take me decades. And so I needed a system that I could use for myself to understand myself a little bit better, without having to, go to a counselor and have them reflect, what was going on in my case. And full disclosure, I wasn't, depressed or anything. I didn't have any medical or psychological conditions that I needed treatment for. I guess I just needed some kind of direction or a coach or some kind of really a way to go forward in my life. I just didn't have the confidence in myself, and I just didn't know where to start. And so, as I was saying, when I was looking at these different energy modalities, I definitely, went head first and tried them out. But like I said, I kept thinking to myself, oh, it'd be so great to be intuitive. It'd be so wonderful to have, more psychic powers, I guess would be the phrase. I didn't have those, and I still don't claim to be a psychic or even really. I mean, I do have my intuition that's grown over the years, but that has taken practice and a lot of awareness. And so one of the systems that has really helped me really ground my awareness and help me see myself and help me understand myself in the world I live in was the human design system. So human design, for anybody who hasn't heard about the system, is a system that comprises a compilation of Western astrology, the Chinese I Ching, Kabbalah, and the chakra system. And when I first encountered human design, I was like, this is the system I was looking for, because it gives a blueprint as to how I am being received in the world, how I am putting off my own energy in the world, and also how I see myself. It also gave me a strategy for approaching new challenges and new opportunities, which, it's called the authority system. And it also helped me understand what emotions, what thoughts, what feelings were mine, and which ones weren't. And so it describes that the stuff that isn't mine is actually me being intuitive regarding the people around me, the places around me, what I'm feeling about those areas, and not necessarily myself. So this was the tool I was really amazingly surprised that there was something like this that existed, because this really did change the way I look at everybody. It helped me to extend forgiveness and love to myself and other people. And I feel like that's really helped me grow within. So, um, like I mentioned, I was listening to a telesummit, and this lady came on, and she's Karen Curry Parker, and she's a human design teacher, and she learned directly from the person who downloaded the system, which was a man by name Robert Krakauer, and he goes by the name Ra Uruhu. And Ra was, when he was in Ibiza in the late 80s, he had an experience where he just, I don't know if psychedelics were involved, but he actually heard a giant voice for 3 days, or actually several days. And the voice basically dictated to him what he was to write down, and it was the human design system. And Ra was very resistant to sharing the system. He even threw out his notes after the experience because it was a very shocking experience for him. And somebody had found his notes and randomly showed it to him, and he was like, okay, well, now I know I have to share this with people. So throughout the 90s, he was sharing it with his circle of followers, and it didn't really start taking off until like the early 2000s, when Karen Curry Parker was directly learning under him. So she spent a lot of time learning directly from him, like they would share office space. And so when I heard Karen Curry Parker talk about this system, it was a very basic talk about the 5 different energy types that, if you've gotten your chart done, you will learn about. She actually, during the telesummit, she actually described these different types. And up until, that time, when I listened to the talk, I was like, oh, I'm definitely this one type. I thought I was a manifesting generator, and I was running my life like that energy type. And when I ran my chart, I found out I was a projector. And I went back and listened to what she said about projectors. And I understood then that I was running my life inefficiently for what and who I am. And that strategy that comes with the projector strategy, meaning not to push, to enjoy your life, to find fun, to not worry so much about the way the culture kind of pushes us to be workaholics or whatever, not to worry about that. And so it helped me relax into myself. So I understood that I was going to be living a more authentic, aligned life. So that was very eye-opening. And then the next part, I think I heard another talk that she had given, and she gave a talk about the profile numbers. And the profile numbers come with the chart, and what they are is they describe the way you learn and take in information, and how you interact with other people and distribute that information. And so my profile number is a 4-6, so I am a 4-6 projector. Now, a 4-6 is, the 4 part is actually very based in a network. They're people that need other people, and other people need the fourth line people. And the sixth line is a role model. It's called the role model. And as Karen Curry was describing this, the lifestyle of the number 6, or I should say the life cycle of the number 6, the sixth line people usually have a big change in their life after the Saturn return, which was at approximately like 27, 28, 29 years old. And that person usually enters a time from that time to about 52 years old of a more reflective, a more building type of period. And it's not as fast and as furious as like the first 29 years of the life. And that period in time is actually the Saturn return time. And she encouraged us to look at that if that resonated or applied to us. And I looked at my chart, and yes, I was a 4-6, and yes, that was the time where I had a huge change in my life. Like I didn't have my contract renewed for my job. I didn't, I lost my father at that time, and I had to change where I lived. I didn't have health care. I lost my friends. I mean, it was just a very stressful time where I felt like I lost everything. And so as I'm looking at this, I'm thinking, wow, this chart, without anybody telling me, it's just me doing research. This chart described everything that has happened to me accurately to like the very year. And this is explaining a lot of who I am and what I need to do to get out of this. And I was just completely floored that a system could be so accurate. And so I told myself, I need to learn a whole lot about this chart. I need to know everything I can about the human design system. And then I made an intention that Karen Curry Parker would be my teacher. And if she had, a training or an opening to be a human design practitioner, that would be what I would do. And then a few years later, I would say like back in 2017 or so, she had those trainings available. Level 1 reader, level 2 reader, level 3 reader, and level 4 reader. So I actually went and trained under Karen, and I became certified in all 4 levels. I think the last certification was back in 2022, I believe, or 2021. And then I got further training to be able to read cycles through the human design chart, as well as, family dynamics and systems like that. So I have, looked into these systems, and, since the time I started, this has really changed the way I see myself. I feel more love for myself, more compassion, more possibilities. And I also feel like I'm not alone. I also feel like if there is, a fear, if there's ever anger or any kind of emotion that I don't want to carry with me, I always feel like I'm able to transmute it, and I really know what's beneath that. So it's really helped me get to the root cause of what's going on within me. So since that time, I've given many, many readings, and my clients, they always say that it's like being seen. Like whatever I say to them, regarding their chart, it's like they're being given permission to be who they truly are, which is something I think our culture doesn't always promote. And I think a loving self-awareness is going to be probably the easiest and fastest path to healing. So I love the system. I don't know where I'd be without the system. And at the same time, I know that we as humans, as spiritual beings, no system can ever describe our totality, because we're more than a system. And I get that. But I think like the human design system is a beautiful start to inner awareness. So whether, whatever type you are, whether you're a manifestor, a generator, a manifesting generator, projector, or reflector, I feel like knowing the system, I understand now how humans can come together to work together to bring about beautiful creations. And I also now understand the mechanisms by which they're used inappropriately, like the energies within us, how we can sabotage ourselves as well. So this is like understanding this double-edged sword that we have within us. But it's very powerful. And yeah, I just feel like my whole journey with human design has been just a very enlightening one, a very powerful one, and also a very, very compassionate one. I don't know that I would have felt compassion in the ways that I do, and I think it's because the system allows me to look at people in a different way than they, first come forth. Because I'm not psychic, so I can't really pry apart what's going on the inside, but the charts help me see what's really going on, and how the people are coming across and why they're coming across in the way they do, for better or for worse. So that's like a huge oversimplification of my very long journey with human design. And to close the podcast, I always like to do an infinity healing meditation for my listeners here. So we'll do that right now, and we'll do it on the topic of direction and purpose. And just a reminder that when we do the meditation, it's not intended or implied to be a substitute for professional medical or psychological advice, diagnosis, or treatment. So I don't offer any medical advice or treatment or diagnosis over the podcast. So yeah. So, and also please do not listen to this meditation if you are driving, operating heavy machinery, or while caretaking, or anything that requires your undivided attention. So, if you're ready and you're in a safe place where you can focus your attention on the meditation, we can begin. So let's take a moment to get in a comfortable position with your arms and legs uncrossed. You can sit or be laying down. You can set your intention to receive the maximum from the session. You can close your eyes and take a couple of deep, conscious belly breaths. So starting now, if you'd like an infinity healing, which is the connecting through your higher self to God's source, the universe, the divine superconsciousness, relating to direction and purpose, say yes. Okay. If there's any part of you that's not able to receive the maximum during today's session, would you like an infinity healing to help you receive the maximum? If so, say yes. And if there's any part of you that's not able to let go of the maximum today, would you like an infinity healing to help you let go of the maximum right now? If so, say yes. Okay. And as soon as you release it, we're replacing it with what's for our highest good, the highest vibrations our bodies can receive. And if there's any part of you that's in the way, interfering with, sabotaging, resisting, or afraid of everything that's available for you today, would you like an infinity healing for your higher self to set all of that aside and to show what's going on from the highest perspective? If so, say yes. Okay, so let's become aware of ourselves within that bigger part of ourselves, like the light, the source, superconsciousness universe. Okay, and imagine a beautiful liquid light pouring down from this part, down to the top of your head, into your neck and shoulders, breathing it in, into your chest and back, into your belly, into your hips and thighs, into your knees and your calves, your feet. And this liquid light is going all the way down through your feet into the ground, down, down, down to the center of the earth. And you're breathing all this energy in and breathing out anything that needs to be let go. So starting now, would you like an infinity healing relating to downloading what your unique purpose and your unique direction means for you? If so, say yes. Would you like an infinity healing for knowing, feeling, being a person who has purpose? If so, say yes. Would you like an infinity healing for being a person who identifies as having a purpose, a beautiful purpose? If so, say yes. Would you like an infinity healing for recognizing yourself as having an important purpose? If so, say yes. Would you like an infinity healing for knowing, feeling, and being allowed to follow your unique direction and your unique purpose? If so, say yes. Would you like an infinity healing for being permitted to follow your own direction, your own unique purpose? If so, say yes. Would you like an infinity healing for permitting yourself to follow your own purpose, to follow your unique direction? If so, say yes. Would you like an infinity healing for being encouraged to follow your own purpose, to follow your own direction? If so, say yes. Would you like an infinity healing for knowing, feeling it's safe to follow your purpose and your direction? If so, say yes. Would you like an infinity healing for downloading the precise purpose and the precise direction and integrating that into your body safely? If so, say yes. Would you like an infinity healing for knowing and feeling that it is possible to achieve your purpose and to achieve your direction? If so, say yes. Would you like an infinity healing for knowing and feeling you are worthy of following your unique purpose? If so, say yes. Would you like an infinity healing for knowing and feeling you are deserving of following your purpose? If so, say yes. Would you like an infinity healing for knowing and feeling you are worthy and deserving of living your purpose? If so, say yes. Would you like an infinity Would you like an infinity healing for knowing and feeling you can have and live your purpose and follow your own direction in the highest and best ways with harm to none? If so, say yes. And would you like an infinity healing for clearing any blocks, fears, negative emotions that stop us from experiencing our highest purpose If so, say yes. Okay, breathe it in, breathe it out. To conclude, Source God, Universe, Superconsciousness, Spirit, the Divine, deepen these healings, take them to their infinite next levels, sharing them with all aspects of ourselves, our children, grandchildren, inner child, parents, ancestors, past lives, parallel lives, simultaneous existences, all space, time, and dimensions. Include in this healing more than we know what to ask for, that this or something greater will happen. We're setting these healings on autopilot with infinite ease and grace. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and so it is. All right. So you can gently come out of this meditation. You can open your eyes. And I'm very curious to know if anything shifted for you, if you felt anything during the meditation, if you had new belief, or if you felt energy move. I'd really love to know about it. And you can contact me at infinitelevelhealings@gmail.com. And I'll have more information in the description. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this session was awesome for you, and I hope you gained something from it. So until next time, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.